A Journey into Stereophonic Sound is a line from an old vinyl stereo test record that my Uncle Jack played me as a kid. I have now found the actual recording. I was fascinated. Firstly, because he had a superb stereo record playaway before my folks could afford one, and secondly, because of the sheer wonder of the sound. A steam train thundering across the room. Fantastic. So from that moment on, I was hooked. Jack also had a superb Triumph Spitfire two-seater open-top sports car that he just rebuilt and took me for a blast in that. He has a lot to answer for. Fast forward to around 1969, and after much pestering, my dad came home with a guitar. By today's standards, it was horrendous. To start with, it was left-handed, but had been restrung as right, so all the nut slots were wrong. The action was stunningly bad, but a great way to improve strength in your fingers. I enrolled in guitar classes at school, attended the first lesson, and they tried to make me read music. In true Mancunian style, stuff this, I thought, and went home to teach myself. The guitar actually came with the legendary Play in A-Day book by Burt Whedon, so I set about playing the somewhat dreadful songs contained in it until I could change chords quite fast. And then after many months learning, that eureka moment when you realize, hey, I can play. Fast forward again to April 1974, and a surprise birthday treat from my cousin Pete. 2 tickets to see the Strawbs at Manchester Opera House. What a revelation. From the opening crashing notes of New World, with swirling smoke and cascading red and blue stage lights, through to the finale and that juggernaut of a riff, The River Slashed Down by the Sea, played by Dave Lambert, with cigarettes smouldering away, stuck in his guitar strings above the nut. To this then 16-year-old, how cool! I was mesmerized and inspired. I dashed home and sat up into the early hours until I could play that riff note perfect. The real start of my guitar adventure. Thanks, Dave. I shortly afterwards joined a local band in Manchester with my mate Paul Naxmere, who also played me the then brand new Hero and Heroine Strawbs album. Another defining moment. It's still my benchmark in production values, a fantastic sounding album from start to finish, and the atmosphere of produced sound that I aspire to now. 1990s. I was very fortunate to be asked to help a local band with some guitar overdubs in a full 24-track studio in Manchester in 1992. I learned a lot from that, and ended up spending the next 2 years playing live shows with them, an interesting experience and learning curve in itself. I put my own first studio together around 1995, consisting of a simple Fostex X15 4-track cassette multitrack and a drum machine. I also had one of the first amp modelers shortly after, a JD10, which sounded great. These devices work by taking a normal electric guitar input and then processing it to sound like it's playing through a particular guitar amp, whilst allowing the sound to be input directly via a normal jack plug into a mixer/computer USB interface/recorder, allowing recording and or listening via headphones. No more disturbing the family or neighbors with huge volume. This was all a good grounding in recording and led to my present setup. 2008. I record all electric guitars, vocals and bass via a Line 6 tone port. A wonderful box that gives the best sounding emulations of classic analog gear I have heard. The tone port transmits the audio from normal jack plug input cable via USB directly into my computer, where it enters the multi-track program Reaper. This is a great piece of software that does all and more of what the other hugely expensive products do for a cost of around £25 UK. I control the software faders on screen using real faders on a Tascam FW1082 Firewire interface, although Reaper works perfectly okay without this, using your PC mouse instead. I just like the feel of real faders. Drums are programmed using the amazing Jamsticks VST plugin, and any strings are played live by me on an M-Audio MIDI keyboard, triggering samples usually in Reason software. Having done a full mix, in real time as I prefer to do, I then run the master stereo 2 tracks through the PSP Vintage Warmer VST plugin. I find this gives an amazing live feel to the overall sound and a real old tape vibe.